fighters today to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Gary's a member of the Fire Advisory Board.
Hand on the heart, I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we have, as you can see, quite a few honorees today, and we're going to recognize the first responders in our town of Isaac communities who volunteer their time. They put their lives on the line every day, and these are our firefighters. Today, we have the honor and privilege of recognizing those members who have served 50 years or more with their respective departments in our town. Councilman Lorenzo, why don't you come up and help me with these? So let us begin by calling up the members of the Lakeland Fire Department. Okay, so the Lakeland Fire Department, and we have ex-Chief William Thompson and ex-Chief Robert Powers, Sr. Thank you. And next, we have the Sayville Fire Department. And with the Sayville Department, we have Richard Maddox. Rich, are you here? Yep. Did I hear you? Yep. No? Okay. And from the West Islip Fire Department, we have ex-Chief Ted Steffens. And Ted is AWOL. So we will move to the West Sayville Fire Department, and we have ex-Chief Paul Nelson and ex-Captain Edward Postel. Thank you so much. Don't go too far because we'll get a group photo after. And I know there's one gentleman out there who's particularly proud, and that's Mike Postel, who's followed in his father's footstep. He's a member of the department also and helped us coordinate this today. So Mike, thank you so much. Next, we have the Central Islip Fire Department, and that would be Brian O'Connor and Mike Bartley. Councilman O'Connor, why don't you come? Long lost cousin. Not really. And next we go with the East Islip Department, Joseph Montori and Evan Newman.
Process of elimination. I know Joe and I don't know you, so I knew you had to be Ed.
And next we go to the Hopog Fire Department. We have ex-Captain Larry Van Zone, firefighter Alfred Cutler, ex-Captain Greg Gottlieb, ex-Captain Robert Wind, and Honorary Chief Chris Hirsch. Is our Honorary Chief Chris Hirsch here? That's you. Okay, you're going to turn around and you're going to face the audience. This incredible gentleman has given 70 years. And we move to the Holbrook Department, and that would be Cliff Marone, or Maroney, as we say in the old country. And from Bayport, Michael Giogan? What is it? Vegan. He's going to tell us. He's not here, so there you go. We didn't get in trouble. Yes, we did call Lakeland. So that's it. So if you gentlemen would come join us, and thank you for those who were not getting their 50-year awards but came to support them. I think that's really awesome. So if you would all come forward with the honorees in the front, we'll get a group photo. Yeah, that's great. So there's a gentleman who was trying to be anonymous. He didn't have 50 years of service, and he didn't have 70. But Dick Eccleston has 75 years of service. So Dick, please come forward, front and center.
Go.
And a big thank you to the families that are left behind when they run out to calls or meetings or whatever. It doesn't happen without that support. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. We'll have to add up the collective years of service. Okay, you O'Connors.
Sorry. I want to go over something. Yeah.
Oh, I was teasing.
They misspelled his name, so we're going to.
It's not the first one. No, I told him to just have him hang on to it. And then,
Group it there.
yeah. Mike, Gary, thank you very much. Thank you. This looks like a fire drill. Thank you. So, February is National Black History Month, and it's an opportunity for us to celebrate and acknowledge the many contributions of our neighbors, volunteers, and professionals from the community who help enrich our town every day. As Rosa Parks once said, each person must live their lives as a model for others. In that spirit, I'd like to continue our Black History Month celebration by highlighting the outstanding members of our town whose lives and careers certainly serve as a model to everyone in our community. Our first nominee today is Lavanisha Lava Jackson Good, who exemplifies excellence in nursing and leadership, making her a truly deserving recipient of the Nurse Preceptor of the Year Award. As a registered nurse, Lava is renowned for her clinical expertise, supportive nature, and contagious positivity. New staff members consistently praise her approachable demeanor and exceptional guidance, which not only helps them integrate seamlessly into the team, but also inspires them to uphold the higher standards of care. Lava leads by example, continuing to provide mentorship and support long after orientation, ensuring her colleagues and patients thrive. Her dedication to patient-centered care and adherence to Good Samaritan's care values make her an invaluable asset to the hospital and a shining example of excellence in healthcare. Lava has truly done her utmost to make our community a better place. So if everyone would please join me in recognizing Lava Jackson Good. Please, if you'd come to the podium.
time we can move a little bit.
Just did.
I'd like to invite Councilman O'Connor to welcome our next honoree, Brittany McFadden Tillett.
Brittany, come up. Brittany, come on up. Brittany McFadden Tillett is a dedicated leader, educator, and advocate committed to uplifting her community in Central Islip. Graduate of Central Islip High School and Tiffin University, Brittany serves as a teacher's assistant with the Central Islip School District and previously worked as a preventative caseworker, helping families build resilience and stability. She is the president and founder of CI Connects for Change, leading initiatives that promote advocacy, education, and community beautification. Brittany also holds leadership roles as president of the Cordello Elementary School PTA, vice president of the Central Islip PTA Council, and a member of the advisory committee for the Central Islip Civic Council. Her efforts have earned her recognition from the NAACP and the Town Supervisor's Office, as well as the 2024 Champion of Diversity Award. Balancing her impactful work with her family life as a wife to Anthony and mother to Faith and Brielle, Brittany continues to inspire and drive positive change in her community. The list of her many roles of service to communities here and far go on and on. Please join me in recognizing Brittany McFadden Tillett.
Congratulations again.
So many accomplishments. I'd like to next invite Councilman Guadrone to introduce our next honoree, the Reverend Lawrence, Dr. Lawrence E. Mosley, Jr.
Lawrence, please. Reverend Dr. Lawrence E. Mosley Jr. is a dynamic spiritual leader, educator, and mentor whose unwavering commitment to faith and service has impacted communities locally and nationally. A native of Lynchburg, Virginia, Bishop Mosley holds advanced degrees in divinity and Christian education, serving as a faculty member at All Christian Bible Seminary. Since embracing his pastoral calling in 1998, he has demonstrated exemplary leadership, particularly as a pastor of Hope Missionary Baptist Church in Central Islip, where he continues his father's legacy of teaching and preaching to uplift the body of Christ. Recognized among the top 100 instructors by the National Baptist Convention USA, Inc., his influence extends to roles with the Eastern Baptist Association of New York and other Christian education initiatives. Above all, he is a devoted husband to Stacy and proud father of 5, living by the guiding principle, determined to live for Christ. For his lifelong dedication to our community, please join us recognizing Reverend Dr. Lawrence E. Mosley, Jr.
Thank you so much. And now Councilman Lorenzo, who's going to introduce us to our next honoree, Jay Sinclair.
An exceptional entrepreneur and community leader, Jay Sinclair owns two successful businesses, Shagged Pet Grooming and Uncle Wally's Barbershop. She has put effort into making both spaces welcoming and trusted among the community and continues to show her kind and generous nature as she creates jobs, supports local events, and mentors others who want to start their own business. Jay has made a real difference in her community as an example of kindness, dedication, and leadership. In addition to her business, Jay also works with the Response Crisis Center to help provide support to people experiencing anxious or depressive thoughts. She continues to earn her reputation as a strong voice of comfort and guidance in the community. For her ambitious spirit and mentorship, please join us in recognizing Jay Sinclair.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Lorenzo. Next, we will go to Councilman Mike McElway, who is going to introduce our final honoree and a presentation that this is the first time that has been presented, and that is to Mary Reed, and it is the Lifetime Achievement Award. Mike? Mary, do you want to?
Mary, you want to come up or you want to stay there?
Whoa, she's pretty spry.
Mary Reed has been a longtime advocate and activist in the community for over 75 years. She has dedicated herself to the revitalization of Bayshore and Brentwood communities and has called Brentwood home since 1947, graduating from Bayshore High School. Mary has served on over 20 committees, including Bayshore's First Baptist Church as a trustee for the Brentwood Public Library for the last 25 years. Mary is truly a modern-day Wonder Woman. I've seen it in action. She serves on numerous committees and supports many groups that benefit the community as a whole and the people within our town and state. Her service activities extensive include civil rights, education, social services, religious expression, labor relations, and politics. Mary has remained an invaluable asset to our town as a cheerleading coach, commissioner, leader, and friend, and today we are honored to present her with the Distinguished Lifetime Service Award. Please join me in congratulating our local hero, Mary Reed.
Well, all of our honorees really deserve another round of applause. They really have done so much. So today we have something a little special that doesn't really happen very often. Joining us today is a prestigious Regeneron finalist that we would like to recognize and give special congratulations to Nika Fairweather, a student. Nika, come forward. Look at that smile. Nika is a student from Brentwood High School who, out of 2,500 applicants across the world, has been named among the few semifinalists as a Regeneron Scholar in the Regeneron Science Talent Search Competition. Nika is among an elite group of young scholars whose research and projects are already making contributions to our community and broader society. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication, Nika. We are so proud of you and for all you've accomplished at such a young age. Okay, the Brentwood School community, come on up. That's truly remarkable. So we have a few brief announcements. February is also Heart Health Month, an opportunity for all of us to focus on our cardiovascular health. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women, killing more than all forms of cancer combined. At the beginning of the month, town employees and members of the town board joined together in red for National Wear Red Day to raise awareness of cardiac health. So let's stick to those New Year resolutions, and if you didn't make one now. Use this moment as a reminder to take care of yourself just as you'd care for a loved one. Speak with your physician about the steps you can take to live a more healthy lifestyle. And lastly, in February, we are also reminded as a community to reflect on mental health, and I know it was referred to earlier today, and to check in with our loved ones. Over the last decade, the PS I Love You Day campaign has grown to include over 335 schools, businesses, organizations, and communities across the nation. And it began right here in the town of Islip by a young woman who was impacted in her life by a death in her family that was totally unexpected. But she took that experience and turned it into PS I Love You Day. Her name was Brooke De Palma. This coming Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we encourage town employees, school members, and members of the community to dress in purple for PS I Love You Day to help shine a light on mental health awareness, increase suicide prevention, and to spread the word to those who may be struggling with mental health that they too are loved. But we do not relegate this message of love to just one Friday of one month of the year. Help is always available for those who need it. Please check in on your loved ones, your friends, and your neighbors, and let all of us remember now more than ever to treat all people with more kindness, more compassion, and more understanding. You just never know what struggles a person might be going through. And I encourage everyone to visit the psiloveyouday.net for more information, and I thank everyone. Okay, we will get down to business. If someone signed up to speak on all public hearings, 1 through 6, I guess it's the ambulance. Can we take them all at once, or does he have to come up for each one? It's Andy Cross. It should, but
That's 18 minutes. Just put it out there.
we're going to kind of find it. I got it. Six public hearings today, and we have one card signed to speak on the public hearings. In fact, the gentleman that signed the card, Andy Cross, wishes to speak on all 6 public hearings. Andy, where are you? I don't see you. Okay, you said 1 to 6, but did you mean to speak on the traffic codes? Okay, so we'll go to that one first. Number 1, to consider amending the ISLIP Uniform Traffic Code. There are no speakers who have signed up to speak on that. Any questions or comments from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is closed, and it is adopted. Okay, Andy, if you want to come forward then to speak on, we will call each hearing individually, but if you want to make your comments to pertain to all of them. Okay, one for all, that sounds good. All right, so first being a 1-year contract with Community Ambulance Company for providing emergency ambulance services.
Ready?
We're ready.
Okay. We, as taxpayers in Islip Town, pay for in my case, I pay for the Brentwood Fire Department, which has an ambulance. So that's one. I can't remember now. Anyway, so we are paying taxes on the fire department. Now we're paying taxes on community ambulance, who come to you, if they come to your house, they charge your Medicare or hospitalization, so that's 2. They charge you a copay, which is 3 times, and I think there's another one, but I forget it, but we're paying 3 times for the same service in our taxes, and it shouldn't be. So whatever this is today, if you're approving that, why do we have to pay all this taxes on the community ambulance, taxes on the fire department, taxes for medical? This is an unseen tax, for your hospitalization and stuff, and we're paying a copay. So all these taxes and unseen taxes, we shouldn't be paying at all. So I'd like to see you just get out of the community ambulance company and go back to just being a town. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy. All right, so resolution, this particular public hearing, if the clerk would read the hearing notice, please.
Item number two, to consider a one-year contract with Community Ambulance Company Incorporated for providing emergency ambulance services.
Okay, if I could just briefly, this would be a contract for 1 year for community ambulance to provide services that are, the contract cost is charged back to the residents of that ambulance district. However, a number of years ago, in order to minimize some of that expense to the taxpayers, legislation was enacted that allowed the ambulance company to charge back if there was insurance in place, insurance to cover the service or the copay. If a person does not have insurance, if they're not able to pay the copay, they are not responsible for that. They still get the service, and that's what the contracted services are all about. But it is not double or triple taxation. So I just needed to clarify that. So do we have a motion? A motion by Councilman Lorenzo to close the hearing? And second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Madam Clerk?
Item
Next
number
hearing.
three, to consider a one-year contract with Central ISA Hauppauge Volunteer Ambulance Incorporated for providing emergency ambulance services.
Any questions, comments? Motion?
Make a motion to close the public hearing, offer the resolution for its adoption.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor. Second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Madam Clerk, the item 4.
To consider a one-year contract with Brentwood Legion Ambulance Company Incorporated for providing emergency ambulance services.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion to close the public hearing and adopt this resolution for its vote.
We have a motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Next hearing notice.
Item number 5, to consider a one-year contract with Bayshore Brightwaters Rescue Ambulance Company Incorporated for providing emergency ambulance services.
Any questions, comments? Motion?
Motion to close the public hearing and adopt the resolution.
Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is closed and adopted.
Item number 6, to consider a one-year contract with Exchange Ambulance Corporation of the Islips for providing emergency ambulance services.
And no comments, no questions? Is there a
I'll make
motion?
Motion to close the public hearing, offer the resolution for its adoption.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is adopted. And I know I speak for the entire town board. We can't thank the men and women who dedicate incredible hours of service to these various ambulance companies, that when someone is in need and they are most vulnerable, that they're there at the ready. So we thank you for that. Let us go to the public portion. We have a number of cards to offer their comments today. And just to remind everyone, it's not a question and answer. You have 3 minutes. But if you have a specific issue or concern, the commissioners are here and they'll step out outside in the hallway and they'll be able to hopefully help you. Having said that, just remind everyone that this is PS I Love You Week, so let's be kind. And the first speaker is Jim Schlau.
I'm sorry, could you also remind people of our new rules of decorum, please?
Okay, actually, they're not quite new. They're rules that adopted each year, but this year we made a point of highlighting them as far as being respectful. And if anyone, crosses the line, so to speak, they may be asked to leave. And I do believe there are copies of the rules out in the lobby if anyone cares to peruse them. Thanks, Jim, for reminding me. Jim?
Jim Slough, bought the house for my parents, living here since 1968. I want to bring up, yet again, the parking situation. I don't know how many years have I been complaining about that? 10 years? Let's see, I retired 10 years ago, almost to the day. And it's been the worst 10 years of my life. You work your whole life, and the town is a disaster. And I got no help with the parking all these years. Then along comes Mr. Lorenzo's office, unbelievably, going in there and talking to them, of which I'm not a constituent, but I'm a veteran, so they decided to help me. Do you know that they got the cars off the sidewalks in Brightside and South Road, Hazel Street, to name a few? I've been to Pedente's office. You know how many times I've been to Pedente's office? I don't even know how many times I've been there. And he can't do nothing. We can't do nothing. What does Mr. Lorenzo know that he doesn't know and public safety doesn't know? Because I got word today that they went to the muffler shop over there on Carlton Avenue and said, if you don't get the cars off the sidewalk, the next time we come, we're going to tow them. So what's going on? You're in charge here. We need mega Republicans. We don't need Republicans in name only, because this place is a mess. And if you want to see a mess, go to Jorge's district. That's where cars are all over the sidewalk, packed like sardines. Why are the cars packed like sardines in Central Islip? I don't know if you can see that. I passed this up once. I can't get rid of it. It's too expensive to make these pictures. That's Earl Street. Can you see all those cars? Now here's West Islip, Pease, where you live. Why aren't there any cars on the sidewalk on Pease? Because you live there. Why? How did she do it? The secretary of Lorenzo and Mr. Lorenzo. How did they do what couldn't be done for 10 years? There's no shame. I can't believe it. Thank God Trump is in office right now. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Schlau. Next speaker, Marge Golden.
Good afternoon. My name is Marge Golden, and I'm here representing Rebecca Caro, founder and president of Tender Loving Cats, TLC, and an Islip resident. We are requesting the revival of a Trap, Neuter, Return, TNR, program in Islip that can be sustainable into the future. When feral cats and their colonies aren't managed or controlled, not only do the cats suffer, but they become an ongoing neighborhood nuisance. Feral cats running wild continue to breed, continue to deal with illness with no medical intervention, and continue to make themselves an unwelcome nuisance with loud behaviors like yelling and fighting or spraying. This situation will persist without town-funded TNR. The amount of struggle cats face daily and complaints from residents will be reduced in Islip Township by supporting Trap, Neuter, and Return. TLC is a 501c3 foster-based all-volunteer organization whose primary focus is TNR on Long Island and centered on the Islip, Babylon, and Huntington Townships. Our Prevent a Litter program accepts applications for help from homeowners and feeders wanting to address the needs of feral cats. We have made it a priority to spay or neuter at least 75% of the cats in the colonies we've committed to within 6 months and make every attempt to stop reproduction in each colony before moving on to the next. Although this may seem like a great achievement, we've only been able to help a small fraction of the requests for help we've received. We are very proud of our success with this program, but it requires funding to pay the vet bills and cannot remain robust without financial help. Cats from Islip have consumed a majority of our funding since our inception in 2017, and it's simply not fair. Any success we achieve is with an all-volunteer trapping team and donation funding. We would be severely restricted from continuing long-term without help from town programs. We fundraise as much as we can and beg for donations to cover our costs, but it's getting harder and harder to keep up. Island Rescue in Bayshore, one of our neutering clinics, is raising its low-cost fee for spay-neuter from $95 to $125 this week, a 32% increase. We need help and partnership with the towns we serve. If each Islip resident was empowered to humanely trap and spay-neuter the cats in their own area, we could effectively clean up Islip Township. Your neighbors in Huntington and Babylon offer their residents services like placement of friendly cats and kittens, trap rental, and free or $25 low-cost spay-neuter vouchers for feral cats. These low-cost options take the financial burden off the individual rescues like TLC. The town of Islip should do the same. It is past time for Islip to step up and do its part. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. And I'm assuming that you have had conversations with Commissioner Blue, because he is trying very hard to get this up and running. We were working with an organization in past that is now defunct, and perhaps TLC is one who could step up, but you'll have to have those conversations with Commissioner Blue. Thank you. Drake Pachango, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it, but Diane? That's me. Okay, sorry.
My name is Diane Pianegro, and I am a retired veterinary technician. Good afternoon. For a number of years, I was involved in the now defunct organization that you all contracted with to do your spay and neuters here. I was one of the trailer ladies. I have done my part to spay and neuter lots of town of Islip cats. I've also done some on my own. I work at the food pantry in Brentwood at Alante. And when I went there, I found that there was a colony that was not managed. So I did my little 4 cats, 5 kittens, you know, little trapping adventure. That's nothing compared to what some of these ladies do. These ladies have done thousands of cats in town of Islip, literally thousands. In conversations, you would hear them say, oh yeah, you know, we had the hoarder situation over blah, blah. How many cats did you get? Oh, 48. How many kittens did you get? Yeah, there was just a few. There were 20. All those kittens were fostered out, adopted out, medical treatment given. All those adult cats were spayed, neutered, released back into the community, and are now managed colonies. Those cats get fed. Those cats get medical treatment if they need it, and it's all done by these people on a volunteer basis. Nobody pays them anything to do that, okay? We need the support of the town to help with this situation. Can't continue to do it on our own. You're going to be overrun with cats. I'm in the town of Huntington, by the way, and my town, blessedly, has a program where you catch a cat, you bring it to them, they take care of it, and then you take it home, okay? So that's a nice system, works for us in Dix Hills. When hopefully we all go upstairs to the big guy, right? He's going to stand there and he's going to say, what you got for me? What'd you do while you were down there? These ladies, they're going right in, okay? Their work has been done, and they are going right in. In closing, I'd like to let you know, if you don't know already, there's been a rabid raccoon and a rabid cat found in Suffolk County within the past couple of weeks. Part of what we do at the TNRs is vaccinate these cats against rabies at no cost, right, to anybody else. This is part of what people do. It would behoove the town, I think, at this point to start considering TNR in terms of vaccination.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Diane. Next speaker, Joanne Carhart.
Hi, thank you. I'll start off by saying I'm not a cat person. I discovered I live in a condo in Bohemia and just started to notice that there seemed to be, I used to call them stray cats. I didn't even have the lingo. I had a dear friend who passed away a long time ago, and she was a big cat rescuer. And I looked at these cats and I said, she'll kill me if I don't do something about it. So I went to a coworker who does a lot for cats, but she was kind of getting out of doing too much. And I said, can you help me in some way? I don't know what to do. And this army of women came to my rescue. They taught me how to train them to go into the traps, and they helped me trap, and then I even trapped. Well, 12 cats later and about $1,200 of my own money, it's been almost a year that we haven't, if you don't know, they tip their ear, if they're left ear, I think it is, if they're neutered, so you can tell if you see a cat you're not sure about. You take pictures and zoom in to see if the ear is tipped. So it's been almost a year and we haven't had any new ones in the area. So that's kind of a myth that if you have to return them to where they were, that you're going to attract many more cats because they're neutered. They don't attract more cats. So I just wanted to say that I'd be happy for my tax dollars town tax dollars to work on something like this. And now meeting these people, I realize they'll always be there. They'll be volunteering. It would probably be a partnership, or they could use your help if the shelter can use their buying or discounts or their space to do neutering. So being a newbie to this, that's all I can say, I think, or even helping with fundraising, if there's some sort of nonprofit fundraising to go toward it. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Joanne, and that is something that is being done now, fundraising for this very program, because legislation that is on the books precludes us from using taxpayer dollars for that program. So that's why the commission has been working with not-for-profits and trying to partner and do the best we can to stay within the constraints of what we're permitted to do. Catherine Citrano.
Catherine Citrano. I've been a resident of Central Islip since 2013. Some members in this community, as you've heard, and the town, of course, have helped make life better for individual stray and feral cats through its past spay-neuter clinics. However, the effort has not been consistent, so the total number of unfixed cats has continued to keep growing. And I personally know that it's created issues for some town residents when they happen upon some stray or feral cats in their backyard. The town needs a sustained low-cost spay-neuter program to deal with the overpopulation. Rescuers have been told that funds are lacking and that taxpayer dollars are not allowed to be used for this endeavor. I think it's deflection. Also, I'm not aware of any targeted efforts like on the website or by the town to raise specific funds in order to be used for a spay-neuter program. As a person that has been rescuing since 2013, I can tell you that I would be doing less to service this community without the support of the town. Island Rescue in Bayshore, as you've heard, is one of the practices that many rescuers use to get stray and feral cats fixed, and they are about to raise their price for that from $95 to $125. 3 years ago, they made another significant jump in the cost for those services. I am personally tired of bearing the cost of fixing community cats at my own expense. I don't think I'm the only person that feels this way. The problem can be fixed, no pun intended. We just need more help from the town's elected officials in order to do this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Catherine. Next speaker, Stuart Cohen.
Thank you for letting me speak. I'm here for a different subject. I'm here for a cleanup at 45 4th Street in Brentwood. 2011, there was a Easter Sunday explosion that damaged most of the block. The house that was originally destroyed has been rebuilt, and all the other houses on the block have been rebuilt. The address in question has been a vacant pit for, I would say, the last 12, 11 years. The individual I know that owns the property has been fined many times from the town. I myself has put in complaints about how dirty it's been kept and uncleanliness. They've used it for storage. They just recently had a camper on there for storage. I called in a complaint. It's going on 15 years and nothing has been done with the property. The fences are destroyed, everything's broken. Speaking of a feral cat colony, ever since the property has been vacant, we have feral cats, we have rats, we have raccoons, we have other vermin that are coming in and out of that property. I had to hire an exterminator myself to control the rat population. I'm worried about rabies and everything else. I do have small animals myself that I'm worried about. I catch feral cats in my backyard all the time, get them out of the property, and nothing to this point has been done by him or by any direction, and I'm looking for help. And I need somebody to speak to to get this taken care of. When I acquired the property after my parents passed, had an appraisal, and my appraisal dropped because this blight was across the street from me about what my value of my property would be. We do pay taxes like everybody else, and I have no problem paying my taxes. But when my value of my home goes down because somebody else is not doing what they're supposed to or being directed to, I come to you guys for help.
Okay, Stu, thank you very much, and it is on the agenda today for cleanup.
Okay,
So
great.
attention
Is there
being
anybody I can
paid.
speak to follow up with after this?
You can speak with Mr. Panacci, who will be addressing that when we get up to the agenda.
Okay.
If you want to stay for that, it's like item 5 on the agenda.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you very
Thank
much. Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T.
Mary Moore.
So again, we're speaking about the trade neuter cover. As I was looking up things, I noticed that the town of Islip is an outlier. Babylon, Brookhaven, the Hamptons, Riverhead, Southold, Huntington, and even Shelter Island all have TNR programs. For instance, some of them use the animal shelters, others use animal rescue groups. The one thing that they have in common is that the towns are funding the TNR programs. Here in Islip Township, we have, right now, we've had huge wave of development in apartments and houses, something I noticed since it's right next to me. That provides a lot more tax revenue. I am sure that our town, with all the money from all the apartments and the new housing, could have some money for the TNR program because of all of the other Suffolk County townships that all have TNR programs, except for us in Suffolk. So I just think that we should get on board with that too.
Thank you, Mary. Next speaker, Barbara Kirk.
Hi, Barbara Kirk. So, I've been trapping, cats for 23 years. I've trapped well over 500 cats. Since May of 2020, I've trapped at least 100 in the town of Islip easily. I volunteered at the town's TNR clinic for the 6 years that it was being administered by Animal Lovers League, so I'm a trailer lady. In fact, it was on October 2nd of 2016 that I stood before this board urging you to accept Animal Lovers League's offer of $60,000 and to donate the money and to organize and administer a program, a TNR program for the town. It was an incredible gift to the town, and with the help of the many volunteers who are here today, we were able to fix feral cats for a very, very low cost. When that program ended, I knew it would cost twice as much per cat, and that the funds that were left were going to get it used up. So it's my understanding that the program, the TNR program, hasn't been up and running since October. The need for a TNR program grows exponentially with every litter that's born. We cannot wait. We need the TNR program reinstated ASAP. Now, raising money through donations and fundraisings is only part of the answer, and I'm more than willing to help with that. And I've already told Terry I'll do, to work with her to raise money. But the bottom line is the town needs to step up and allocate funds to the TNR program. I have written confirmation from the Assistant Director of the Agricultural and Markets Law Division of Animal Industry that it is okay to use taxpayer money to fund a TNR program. I'm going to repeat that. There is nothing in the New York State Agriculture and Markets Law preventing a town or shelter from using taxpayer money to fix feral cats. Both Senator Monica Martinez and former Senator Phil Boyle have confirmed that with me, okay? Almost all the other towns and municipalities do use taxpayer monies. They have budgeted into their budget spay-neuter program that includes feral cats. So you've heard from a lot of people here today. You're going to hear from some more. All we're asking is that the town does their part to help the rescue community. It's imperative to reduce the number of stray and feral cats and prevent their suffering due to disease, starvation, fighting, and of course the severe weather. It's the humane thing to do. Please find a way to support the community by reinstating the town's TNR program as soon as possible. Oh, I was going to mention the colony behind Strip Steak, but I'm out of luck.
Thank you, Barbara. Next speaker, Cara Pisani.
Hello, guys. Good afternoon. My name is Cara Pisani. I live on Naugatuck Lane in East Islip. I started getting into TNR through my neighbor, Barbara. I saw this cat hiding under my car, realized it was pregnant and had kittens. Had to be trapped, and the mom as well to fix this so this doesn't happen again. That is when Barbara taught me what and how needed to be done. I spent way over $500 to get them adopted and fixed. Since then, people started to call me when they saw kittens, pregnant cat, or just someone dumping a cat on the side of the road. I would have to go out, ask Barbara to borrow her traps, and get them fixed. Unfortunately, this is happening more and more now than ever. I also was at a fair in Sable. I parked in front of an abandoned house. There was 3 kittens just sitting there. Nobody was with them, no mom. So I had to, again, call Barbara, get her kitten trap, and trap all 3. I did fix them, and I did have a place to hold them. They did get adopted. But one of the main problems was, where was the mom cat? And I knew that that had to be caught. The next day I went back, I did catch her, but again, that was over $500 again for that as well. For the last 5 years, maybe 2 ferals I had in my neighborhood. Now I feed over 10 at my house, and now it seems every month we get another one. I send pictures back and forth to Barbara. Did you see this one? Does that one have its ear tipped? So we try to go back and forth. We seem to have this conversation more and more frequently. I feed about 30 cats 2 times a week at certain colonies in the town of Islip. And again, these colonies kept getting bigger and bigger. Also, these colonies, people dump cats and to try to get them away and get them fixed, or they keep getting worse. It's hard now to keep paying for this all by ourselves. It's getting to be a lot. The answer to my when I get a call to help, out of a hand, when I get a call to help, it's already out of hand. And the answer to my question is, why did you wait so long? They couldn't afford it, and they just left it. But now the problem tripled. If we only had help through the town, I feel we might be able to get this under control. If people knew there was a program to help the cats cost to fix them, they might reach out early before it's a problem. This issue is getting unbearable. There is a serious problem, and it's getting worse. We all need to work together to help the community cats and keep them from multiplying. People these days seem to try to poison them, remove their shelters where they stay, but that's just cruel and inhumane. Thinking that will do the trick, but it actually doesn't. I did get a notification from a rescue in Iowa to help pay for cats and spay-neuter. It was actually very interesting and very catchy. It said, have an ex that shouldn't reproduce, feeling vengeful on Valentine's Day? For $15, we will name a cat after your ex, and then spay or neuter them, and then release them with our trap, neuter, return program to stop the breeding problem. When I saw this, I thought it was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Next speaker, Susan Canali.
Good afternoon. My name is Sue Canali, and I'm delivering this speech on behalf of Dottie Zametti of A Home at Last Cat Rescue. I stand before you today to address a critical issue facing our community. No surprise, the overwhelming problem of cat overpopulation. As you must know, our town is home to countless stray and feral cats, and their numbers are growing at an alarming rate. Over the past year alone, A Home at Last has trapped 248 plus cats in our town and given out vouchers for free spay neuters to Islip residents at a cost of over $20,000. That's 248 plus cats struggling to survive on the streets, facing hunger, disease, the dangers of traffic, cat haters, and other animals. But what's even more heartbreaking is the potential for those 248 plus cats to reproduce thousands of kittens in a year, born into a life of needless suffering. Not only do the cats suffer horribly, but our town residents also suffer because the kind-hearted want to help but can't afford to, and the haters just want them gone by any means. Our local rescue groups are already overwhelmed with the number of homeless animals in our community. They work tirelessly to provide food, shelter, and medical care, but their resources are stretched thin. They simply cannot keep up with the constant influx of new kittens. Our town is drowning, and we need your help. This is where a comprehensive spay-neuter program becomes essential. By preventing unwanted pregnancies, we can dramatically reduce the number of cats struggling to survive on our streets. Spaying and neutering not only helps control the population, but also offers significant health benefits to the cats themselves, reduces their risks of certain cancers, and eliminates the stress and physical toll of repeated pregnancies. Some may argue that spaying and neutering is too expensive or that it interferes with nature. But I urge you to consider the alternative. The cost of inaction is far greater. We will continue to see countless cats suffering. Our shelter will remain overcrowded, and the burden on our community will only increase. I believe this board has a responsibility to the residents to create a sustainable solution to this problem. If other towns can do it, why can't we? The spay-neuter program is not just about controlling the cat population. It's about showing compassion for these animals and creating a healthier, more humane community for all of us. I urge you to support the implementation of a sustainable spay-neuter program in Islip. Let's work together to give these animals a chance at a better life and create a town where both people and animals can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Next speaker, Andy Cross.
Andy Cross, Bay Shore, New York. And once again, I'm here about the NYS real property tax law line on my tax bill. When the tax went up 41% one year, you said it was because the price of housing dropped and everybody was grieving their taxes. This year, the tax went up 103%. What's going on? The price of housing is going up, and the tax should be going down and even be off the tax bill. Does anybody on the town board have a clue what they're doing? Whoever voted for this tax should resign. Whoever voted to raise this tax should resign. Do you really think Islip taxpayers want to pay this 103% raise? The sewer tax is costing Islip taxpayers $1 million for 65 businesses. I think it was 65 in central Islip. Are the 65 businesses going to hook up to this, or is it only going to be around 10, which I think was what's going to happen? And in that 10, it cost $1 million. Did anybody ask the businesses if they were going to hook up to this? Is there enough holding capacity in Bergen Point to handle the extra capacity? Whoever voted on this, yes, should also resign. Islip taxpayers cannot afford this, and it's not needed. I mean, you're spending $1 million on this, you can't even do anything with the cats. All these people are here for the cats. You didn't even listen to them. One more thing I would like to talk about is the misinformation coming from the town board about Clemente Park. One time it was said it cost Islip taxpayers $14 million. Last meeting, I think it was $11 million. Could it be that it cost, what was it, 6.5 million that you bonded for the $2 million contract? So you had $4 million extra. What happened to that? Where did that go? And how come Clemente Park is not done yet? And it was all caused by the town board, and my grandchildren will have to pay for this due to the mismanagement
Thank you,
of the
Mr.
town
Cross.
board.
Next speaker, Jay Scalozzi and Ryan Rosenas. Jim and Ryan. It looks like it's on a board of cleanup, perhaps.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that'll be addressed, yeah, when he comes up. Casimir Ernst?
I'm here on behalf of my brother called Casimir for the property on 45 4th Street.
Mm-hmm.
So everything been cleaned up and secure as the town requested. And my brother told me he will continue to clean up the land as needed. And that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you, Casimir. Jennifer Stackwell?
Yes, hello. I'm responding to a letter from you that I have to secure my property on Fire Island. I had raised the house, and unfortunately, it was more money than I thought, and so I don't have kind of the funds to secure the house at this point, so I wanted to understand what the town would do, what the process is, for them to secure the house. And also there is a little guest cottage on the property and a shed with a washer dryer, and they said these should be secured too. But the guest cottage I'm actually using on occasion, and I'm going to show it on the 23rd to be, for people to rent it for the summer, so I don't want that secured. It's just a locked door. And the washer dryer shed, I don't think needs to be have plywood over it either. It's just a washer dryer shed, and I think the people would want to see it on the 23rd. So explain to me how the process would be for the town to secure the main house.
Okay, you'll have to speak with the town attorney's office, Jeff Panacci, and he will be coming up. There are a number of homes that are going to be addressed in that resolution, and you can speak with him after he makes his presentation. Thank you. Ellen Mackey?
Hi, I'm Ellen Mackey. Certainly not prepared for this talk today. I work full-time as a registered nurse at Good Samaritan Hospital. I've been there for 20 years, Good Brunswick Hospital for 10. Been doing nursing for 34 years total. Every day after my shift, it takes me 2 to 3 hours to come home from work every day to sustain colonies of cats that I've been taking care of. Getting yelled at, getting screamed at, trying to teach. It's impossible. We need help. I don't feel like being emotional here because it's very upsetting. In
Well-
a year that say I make a decent living, I'm spending 20 to 30% of my income to fix cats. And I've been doing that for this many years, over 2 decades. Had some help with the ShelterLink program years ago. That kind of fell apart. I'm begging for some help. I have some wonderful help with the TLC program, with Home at Last, but I'm one person, and if I didn't spay that one cat in this person's yard, it would have been dozens, hundreds, thousands. If you look at the math and see how fast the population can grow, we need this program. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Ellen. There are no other cards, so I have a motion to close the public hearing, a public portion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor, opposed, the public portion is closed. We will move now to the agenda. First on the agenda is the meeting of the Town of Islip Resource Recovery Agency. Motion to convene by Councilman O'Connor. I'll second that. Agency board is convened, a quorum is present, and Commissioner Baloo.
Madam Chair, members of the agency board, Martin Baloo, President of the Islip Resource Recovery Agency. I have several items to consider today. First being the approval of the minutes for the December 17th, 2024 agency board meeting.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor, opposed, the minutes are approved.
The next resolution and the last one is a resolution authorizing the president to enter into an intermunicipal agreement, IMA, between the Islip Resource Recovery Agency and the town of Southampton for delivery of commingled recyclable material at the town of Islip multi-purpose recycling facility.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
And
Any
that
other business?
concludes the business.
Okay, no other business. Motion to adjourn by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? The agency board is done. We move to the meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. Motion by Councilman O'Connor to convene, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor, opposed. We are in session with a quorum being present, and Taryn is filling in for Mr. Walter, who's at a conference.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the agency board. Taryn Jewell, Assistant Town Attorney and Local Counsel to the agency, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration today. The first item for your consideration is to approve the minutes from our last agency board meeting on January 28th, 2025.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the minutes? If not, a motion to approve. Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 3.
Item 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
The next item for your consideration is an authorizing resolution between the agency and American Made Grills located at 79 Carlo Road, Bohemia.
Any question on this? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for your consideration is an authorizing resolution between the agency and Northeast Aero Compressor Corp. located at 30 Raisins Court, Hauppauge.
Any questions on this? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for your consideration is an authorizing resolution between the agency and Protos, Inc., located at 2004 Oldville Drive, North, Ronkonkoma, New York.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Is there any other business?
There's not.
Hearing none, we will make a motion, have a motion to adjourn. Motion by Councilman Guadron, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? The agency stands adjourned. Thank you,
guys.
Taryn. Next, we'll move to item 3, and that would be the appropriation transfers. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
If I may, Commissioner Rose Arkin, may I? The appropriation transfer as I understand it, is for the fees for Kaplan Kirsch for work that they've already done as it relates to the North Terminal Project and Midway Crossing, correct?
That is correct.
My question is, what about work to be done in the future on these two projects?
We haven't allocated or earmarked any money for that. We're just asking for the appropriation transfer to cover the costs that have been incurred with Kaplan and Kirsch for these two projects.
And what direction has been given to Kaplan Kirsch with respect to future expenses and legal work on these two projects?
With the exception of tenant situation that we.
Not talking about
Just these
November
two
Romeo,
projects.
just these two projects.
Okay, just these two projects. We asked them in December to halt any other work on anything they were doing.
Are there any other
I
questions?
have a question.
Sure, Councilman Lorenzo?
Commissioner, I do believe that companies should get paid for the work that they have done in the past. I just would, from my opinion, only here, any future outside council work that would be done, I would love to know about it prior to us having to vote on an appropriation transfer that I didn't know much about in the past on that. So for the future, I would just hope that you can contact the board, if you may, and just let us know.
I totally respect your request on that. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. Second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next, we will go to item 4, and that is the authorization for supervisor to enter into an agreement with Metropolitan Commercial Bank to include as an authorized depository for the town of Islip for the year 2025. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Guardrone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. We will now move to item 5, the board up cleanups. Jeff, we've heard from a couple of people involved with some of the items we have before us today, so.
Yes, and good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the town board and the town clerk. Jeffrey Panacci, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip. I do have 4 properties on for your consideration here today. Number 1, to board up the premises located at 33 Sexton Walk in Robin's Nest. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists.
Excuse me, if I could just, is that Robin's Rest, I believe it should be?
Yes, I apologize.
Yeah, okay.
On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists multiple broken windows and doors on the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, missing deck boards on the west side of the dwelling, electrical wiring that is not properly affixed and maintained, and 2 accessory structures also with open doors and windows, which constitute a nuisance and create a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Okay, you were here, you heard the property owner had some questions, and if you could communicate with her.
I certainly can speak to her after the
Right.
board votes.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second. Second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next.
Number 2, to board up the premises located at 43 West Shore Road in Oakdale. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists a rectangular opening in the cement foundation, of the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, as well as an accessory structure on the property that has an open door, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 3, to clean up the premises located at 45 4th Street in Brentwood. On this vacant property, there now exists a discarded jacuzzi tub, a green tarp covering various other items, overgrown vegetation, and many other forms of litter and debris, which constitute a nuisance and create a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Jeff, sorry, may I?
Sure, I'm sorry.
Jeff, you heard from a neighbor during our public comment portion, Mr. Cohen. He's still sitting in the last row as I look out there.
Yes.
Meet with him afterwards and just explain the process to him.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, do you have a motion? Motion. Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
And number 4, to board up and clean up the premises located at 111 Blake Avenue in Bohemia. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an accessory structure with an open door allowing access to the interior of the structure, a white unregistered Volkswagen, an in-ground pool with inadequate protective fencing surrounding it, overgrown vegetation, and various items of litter and debris scattered throughout the property, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Next, we go to item 6, which are the bid awards. Are there any questions? Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 7, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 8, authorization supervisor to execute the renewal lease agreement for a 2015 Ford 14-passenger bus with the Suffolk County Office for the Aging to provide resident senior citizens with transportation service. Any question?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 9, authorization supervisor to enter into contract with Rosemar Contracting, Inc. for DPW 2-2025 requirements contract and specifications for full-depth reclamation of various town roads. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second.
Second.
By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 10, authorization for the supervisor to execute a contract with Quintal Contracting Corp. for DPW 3-2025 cement concrete sidewalk at various locations on Fire Island. Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 11, Town Board approval to symbolically rename Aletta Place and Union Boulevard in Bay Shore to Honorary Chief Bryant Ortiz Way. This did pass the street naming committee. Any questions? Motion? A motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 12, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept funding from the Suffolk County Office for the Aging for the purpose of providing continued funding for a residential repair program. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 13, authorization supervisor to apply for and accept funding from the Suffolk County Office of the Aging for reimbursement of the Essential Transportation Program for resident senior citizens in the town of Islip. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. 14, authorization supervisor to enter into several agreements for programs or events to be held throughout the town of Islip. Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 15, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept funding from the Suffolk County Office for the Aging for the purpose of providing funding for a shopping assistance program. Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 16, Town Board approval to consent to an assignment of the license agreement with JP Supreme Caterers, Inc., DBA Nicky's on the Bay, to Great Cove Holdings. Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElway, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 17, Town Board approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Good Samaritan Hospital for the purposes of participating in the 340B program. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second. By Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 18 are the special events. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 19, authorization supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Community Development Agency in connection with grant funding provided by the federal government, the CDBG program from year 24, whereby the town will provide certain services related to code enforcement in the designated areas. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardron, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. 20 is the acceptance of grant funding for the New York State Department of Transportation for project PIN number OA04-26 for work at the Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? I'll make that motion. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 21, acceptance of grant funding for the New York State Department of Transportation for project PIN number OA04-27 for work at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion. Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 21, acceptance of grant funding for the New York State Department of Transportation for project PIN number OA04-27 for work at Long Island MacArthur Airport. I think we just did that. Yes. So I mean to say 4.28 for work at Long Island MacArthur Airport. That was item 22. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Guardron, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 23, acceptance of grant funding for the New York State Department of Transportation for project PIN number OA04-29 for work at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. 24, acceptance of grant funding for the New York State Department of Transportation for project PIN number OA04-30 for work at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? None. Motion by Councilman Guardron, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 25, authorization for town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider a contract with the Bay Shore Fire Protection District for the year 2025. Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Authorization for the supervisor to execute a contract with Integrity Tree Care, Inc. for DPW 4-2025 tree and stump removal at various locations in the town of Islip. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardron, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 27, authorization town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to amend Islip Town Code Section 68-457, the moratorium for the development of battery energy storage systems. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed?
One opposed.
And we have 4 in favor, 1 opposed, and a motion. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second?
I want to make a motion to waive the rules for the town board meetings procedure to present the table resolution at the January's meeting with an amended version of which you all have a copy, and it was presented to you with ample time for your consideration.
Does anyone need a copy? Copy?
There's a motion to suspend the rules. Does it need a second, Mr. Town Attorney?
Yes.
Yes.
So we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules to consider a resolution. And so that we'll have a vote on whether to suspend the rules.
That is correct.
Okay. All in favor of suspending the rules? Opposed? Okay, the rules are suspended. Councilman, why don't you explain what this resolution is about?
Yeah, I present to you an amended version of the resolution that was presented to you at the January's town board meeting for office locations for each council member, given an option that they should have one or not.
So it's either or. It's
either or.
Either in your district or in town hall. It's not both.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I do believe that that is the practice that, since we have had councilmanic districts, has been in place to whether you wanted your office in Town Hall or in the Councilmanic District. Right now, 3 of the council people are in Town Hall and 1 is in CI, albeit I believe it is a block out of your district, but it is in the senior center in CI. So we already have that policy. The thing that I would say would be a little problematic, although I don't think it would come up, is that if there isn't space available within the district, the council member's district, then we would have to execute a lease agreement to acquire such office space. And that isn't anything that we've ever done in the town before. And I would like to offer the suggestion that if we encounter that, then bring that individual situation to the town board and consider whether or not to go into leasing office space and have the particulars of where, how much, and did we really do an exhaustive search of available town buildings to see if the council person could be accommodated. But to adopt this now, it puts it in perpetuity, and there is no certainty as to what the cost would be. It just doesn't seem like it's a road we should go down. That's my personal opinion.
If I may emphasize on the language of the resolution offered to you, it is subject to verification from the town controller that sufficient funding for the lease is available.
No, I see that. I see that. But it doesn't specify how much, what the limit is. Is there a ceiling? How many years are we, obligated for? Right now, we don't have a particular situation before us that someone says, here, I found this space and I want to lease it and I want approval to do so. And I think we can handle that if that situation arises. So,
So I made a motion to offer this for a vote.
so we have a motion to adopt the resolution as it is, to allow for a council person to rent space if they don't find space in his or her councilmanic district. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the resolution? Okay, I'll call a roll call vote on the resolution.
Councilman Guadrone,
Aye.
Councilman Lorenzo, Councilman O'Connor, Councilman McGilway. Madam Supervisor?
No. So that's 4-1, the resolution passes. Motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you.